Hey everyone, so we have three controllers today. The first one here, I already worked on them, and then I bought this one and this one on a separate part, so we will be working on these two. So this one here is very mangled and destroyed, so we will then see what's wrong with them all here. So this is the first one. As I said, the buttons are not working, so we will need to sort this out. I believe it's the flex cable that is not working properly. Apparently when you buy them new on AliExpress, only some of them work. And on this second controller that is very mangled, we don't have any connection at all, nothing. It's completely dead. So we will be working on this one today, but let's just see the third one as well. And the third one does have an analog signal, but the buttons have no response as well, which probably is the flex as well. So let's get started on the next part of the video. So let's take this mangled one apart and remove all the screws. Some of the screws are not unscrewing, so I believe the poles are broken. We will see that right away. And there it is. We have 3 poles broken, so we'll need to sort that out during the video. The insides of the controller, it looks like it has been opened before, and whoever opened it didn't even bother to connect the vibration motors. And the wiring, it's all broken, so we'll need to sort that out as well. The plastic that holds the motor in place, it's also broken. Let's do a quick visual inspection on the board. As you can see, probably they tried to reflow the area of the connector, as there is a lot of flux there, and the remaining parts, they look pretty okay to me, besides being very dirty. But other than that, I don't think they tried to fix anything around here. Just a chip, it is a bit dirty. I believe it's flux that it's under it, but we'll clean all that up. Let's then take a look on what's wrong here. I would say this connection is not working between the board and the PlayStation. So let's use our multimeter in continuity and check each of the pins with the connections on the board and see what we got. So as you could see, we don't have continuity in all the pins, and I believe this is the problem. The wires here are all broken and the copper is exposed, so we will need to sort this out. As you can see, it's the purple one, it's open. Let's do a small continuity test here. Let's put one probe inside the wire and the other probe on the end of the connection, and yes, we have a connection. So this proves our theory. The wires are broken, and we will then need to sort that out. We will probably do that on the back part of this isolation tape that someone put here. So let's try to save this little controller. With that being done, let's then open the cables so we can then rejoin it to the board further down on the video. So we just remove all the plastics and expose the inside cables, and on the inside cables let's expose the copper. With the wiring job done, let's then use some flux and apply on the pins here to remove the connector. So we will then use our solder iron and our solder sucker to remove all the solder from the connections and then remove the connector. After that, let's pass our solder wick to remove the remaining stubborn solder and take out the connection from the board. So let's now remove all the pins, and in order to remove the pins we will have to pull the little cables that are remaining inside of them and then lift a little plastic tab in order to take out the pin connector. Before you do this, remember to take a photo of the connector with the wires on, because you will then need it to see where each one goes. In my case, I did every single one individually because there was a remaining of the wire on it, so I could identify which pin goes where. And the problem is, when they are all done, they are out of the connector, then you need to know where they go, so that's why I need a photo. I will show you the procedure just on one of them because this is very time consuming. It takes almost an hour just to do this. So we use a little plier and a screwdriver in order to open, a precision screwdriver in order to open the little metal tabs that hold the wire in place. With the wire removed, let's apply a little bit of solder into the connector, as I am not able to remove the part where the wire is attached to the pin because it's too small. So I will apply a little bit of solder and then I will tin the wire and solder it into the connector, which should do the same work. Remember to position the connector as if it was going into the plastic connector, and then solder the wire in place. So this is not the best job in the world, but let's see if it works. So let's test our continuity from the pin into the connector. And there it is, we have a connection. So the job is okay. With the job done, that took quite a while. Let's clean the board and re-put the connector in place. Let's then apply a bit of flux to all the connections, and then we use our soldering wire with some solder and then apply a little bit on each of the pins so they get a solid connection between them and the board. Job done, so almost as good as new. I only see a little bit of solder that was not completely fixed, so let's take care of that. Let's apply a bit of heat so that the solder closes, and do that in all of the pins to make sure they are all okay. Let's then assemble and test to see if we were successful or not. This is the moment of truth. We have a light on the analog, we didn't have it before. Yes! There it is, the buttons are working. I'd say this is a pretty good job. And yes, we have a working controller. I'm not the best in the world at playing this game, but it works. So since the controller is now working, let's then clean it and restore at least the shell to make it look good again. I will not be speaking on this part because it's pretty self-explanatory, so let's hear some music.
İşte.
So with the restoration done, I still don't have any joysticks to replace these, but we'll do eventually. Let's then give a small test to the controller and see how it is. And unfortunately, since nothing is easier, we will then need to reopen the controller because we don't have a connection anymore. So the faulty connection is apparently on the blue wire, and we will then need to redo all the job that we did before just to fix that one wire. Just to make sure, as we can see, there's no connection here. So let's get the job done again. So now it has a connection again, but it comes and goes, so might as well do the job properly and have a fixed controller. And there it is, with the connection done. Let's then do a small cleaning and then retest. So let's test it again and see what happens. Well, buttons seem to be working. It skipped that part. Let's try and play some motocross and see how it goes. So we have a little issue here with the up and down buttons, but well, this was not working at all, and now it is. So I would say it's fixed. I will check what's wrong with the up and down later, but as for now, the controller is working. So it's a win for me. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next video. Have a good one, people.